Gary, Stewart, welcome to the Disenfranchised Podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm really good, thank you very much. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you very much. The sun's out, so yeah, it's a great day, and yeah, really enjoying things over here. But whereabouts in the world are you, Gary?
So my It's Easy franchise is York and Harrogate, and I live in between the two cities. I live in a village called Tockwith, so quite rural, but really close to get to those cities and all places around. So yeah,
Nice.
it's called Tockwith.
Yeah, I grew
I
up in a
work from home
village.
there, as you can probably tell, but obviously I'm out and about a lot, and I've got that great team in Torquay that I work with. The inspiration for It's Easy was because we were trying to get our website done, and it was just it was a difficult challenge because we were trying to do it internally. And I remember thinking there must be an easy way to do this, and that almost sowed the seed for me to, when I was looking around for opportunities to be, be my own boss, be self-employed, and I came across the It's Easy franchise. So it was almost sparked by having the challenge of getting a website sorted with the people I was employed with.
Yeah, it's interesting. So,
Yeah.
what sort of level were you at that point? What was your role?
My last position, I was a business development manager. So I'd got to that sort of level, and I was coming up 40, and I thought, well, I either want to be, a board director, and that wasn't going to happen. I don't think, or be my own boss. So I chose the be my own boss route, which is something I was keen to do. I've been keen to do that for a couple of years.
So, where did that come from then? Being your own boss?
Do you know what I think? I've got 3 children. They're growing up fast, but back at that time when I started about 13 years ago, I only had 2 children. One was a newborn, and yeah, it might sound cliched, but I didn't want to be driving to work, commuting to work, sitting in an office, and then commuting back again. And I wanted a change of career and a change of lifestyle, and children, I think, were the catalyst for that.
Yeah.
And it's something I'm really glad that I did.
So,
So yeah, get to
is that
see
what
them.
your job would entail then? A fair bit of driving around to meet clients, I guess, as business development.
Yeah, got a few trips down to London on the train. It starts from York Station down to King's Cross. Don't miss it at all.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
But at the time, there's a time and place for everything, isn't there? But I think once you leave that world, you leave the sort of more corporate world, and you come into this sort of world, it's very hard to imagine yourself going back again. So, at the time it was great, but now, a trip to Huddersfield an hour away is about as far as I want to be going. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So you said it was a couple of years before you kind of came across the It's Easy model that you were thinking about maybe starting your own business, or being your own boss anyway. So what other avenues had you explored at that point?
Do you know, none really. I think I went down to a franchise show in Birmingham just out of interest, just to have a look around, and I don't think there's anything particularly that struck me, and I had no real idea what I wanted to do. But I think I just started to, open your mind to doing something different, and I thought franchising was quite a good way to do that.
Okay.
So I think I remember going around and probably looked like a Chips Away franchise, thinking, oh yeah, that might be all right, but I'd have been completely useless at something like that. But yeah, I didn't come across It's Easy at the British Franchise Show. I think I just found them online. As you do, doing a bit of research, looking at opportunities, and I saw that, and I thought, yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So, I mean, just to sort of rewind slightly. So, it's interesting that you went out there and just went to a franchise show, because, I mean, a lot of people that I speak to, they weren't even aware of franchising before they sort of see the opportunity that they're interested in. So, did you have kind of a grounding or base knowledge around franchising as an opportunity, or was it just something that you're searching around online and came across this show and thought, we'll have a look?
I mean, I understood the concept of franchising, and you come across franchises, as you go through a career. Hadn't worked with any franchises, hadn't done any particular projects for them, but I was aware of what it was, and some of the big companies out there that are franchises. So yeah, I just thought it was something worth investigating. I wasn't I wasn't going to buy into a McDonald's franchise or something which had an awful lot of capital you had to have up front. But there was opportunities which were affordable, and it was a case of maybe finding one that worked. It wasn't specifically I thought, oh, I definitely want to go into franchising, but it's just a route that I wanted to look into and see what was available.
Yeah, cool. So you found It's Easy then. Obviously, you had in your head there was a bit of a gap and a niche there that needed filling because you couldn't build out a website. But how were you getting? What other options were there for you to try and build that website? Was it doing it yourself? Was Squarespace and all those kinds of ones around at the time?
I think when we were doing it internally, we had like lots of script writers and coders who would write online surveys for the market research we'd do, and they had skills to build a website, but it just took a long time to do it internally, and I think that just sowed the seed of finding an easier way to do it. So yeah, it was. We weren't looking outside the agency at the time. If we had, I'm sure there'd have been lots of people who might have been able to help. But as I say, it just was a long process, and it just made me think, oh, there's got to be an easier way to do this. And
way. Yeah.
And then I came across It's Easy.
So did you approach them first for work for your company then, or was it just it came across and was hang on a minute, this looks
this sounds good. I didn't have any particular technical skills. My background's all sales, marketing, branding, business development, licensing. It was nothing technical particularly. I couldn't write a line of code for a website, still can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, okay, you can sell websites here, and you've got a brilliant team who do all the design and the development and all the technical side of things.
So I think that's the appealing thing to somebody who's a business developer. I don't know about yourself, but at times I found I can sell something that somebody else does, but trying to find what it is that I do and selling it to somebody, that could be quite challenging, right? And I think quite a few people that are in that sales world or sales mindset are similar, right? You just don't know what you want to sell. And I think from the outside, sometimes brands like It's Easy, you might think, I'm not I'm not a website developer myself. I'm not able to design it and all of those things. I could maybe have a stab and it'd be okay, but it probably wouldn't be something naturally I'd think to do myself, if you know what I mean. When I was back in that kind of sales mode. So I guess that was quite appealing, that fact that somebody else had the product and it's predominantly, okay, you're probably involved in the process a bit, but it's predominantly you selling that.
Yeah, absolutely. A really good product. And I just wanted to sell it and build my own business. I didn't want to be sitting building the websites myself. It's not in my skill set or something I wanted to do, but it's a great product, great support, and I thought, I can having kind of been having in an ideal world, it'd have been great to have It's Easy when I was looking at building a website. So I thought, this resonates, and I can definitely sell this product and build up a business.
Yeah, seeing it from the other side, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So just touching on the kind of being your own boss bit again then, was there any kind of fears that you had, especially when you're looking at a franchise model and you've got to invest some money up front? What sort of things were going through your mind at that point?
I knew it could work. Obviously, I knew it could work. It's a franchise model. There were people who were making it work and doing well. And I could see it was a tried and tested business model. And the idea of, it starts off slow, but the idea of as you build and you build and you build and you have clients who stay with you, and you build up that residual income was particularly appealing. So it wasn't like having to every month go, right, well, what jobs have I got coming in here? I need to get new contracts. I need to get new jobs. You've got that residual income. And that was really powerful, because I thought we can get through the first few years, this could be good.
Yeah. So did you have a client base before you started with It's Easy, or where were your clients before that? So were they kind of in big national
Oh yeah,
companies? I'm
so
guessing.
my client base were, yeah. I mean, you look at my LinkedIn. It's, I was working with Kellogg's, Procter and Gamble,
Yeah,
Diageo, uh, those sort of people. Yeah, it certainly
huge
wasn't
companies.
any. There was no crossover with my current client base at all. So yeah, I was working for, it was food and drink mostly, um, consumer products, FMCG. So yeah, I was working with a lot of people abroad. I spent most of my career, even not in market research, doing a lot of work abroad. I worked in a lot of time in the Far East, China, Hong Kong, Australia, South Africa. It was, a lot of
Yeah.
people I know, and a lot of my client base was global. It wasn't localized to the York and Harrogate region. So it was like starting afresh. I had to build a new network pretty much from scratch.
How did you find it? Was it a challenge? Because obviously it's a different type of business or different type of person you're going after. In someone like
Yeah,
Procter and Gamble, you're going after their
yeah,
buyers or whatever it may be,
yeah,
or
absolutely. Or brand
marketing teams,
managers. Yeah.
brand managers. Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's quite interesting because I'd get up, go to work, and then come home. I didn't really even have a network in where I lived. I didn't even have a local net. Didn't even have the kind of school network because I wasn't up at school. In the playground picking up the kids. Those that part of life didn't really happen. Wife was doing that, so I didn't even really have a local network in the village.
yeah.
Didn't go to the pub enough to go around.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that one. I didn't
yeah,
go to the
yeah.
pub enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like, well, I live in this beautiful village, but don't, other than my sort of immediate neighbours, I haven't got a network. So one of the things I did, literally the first week I started this business, was to join a local BNI group. I don't know if you've heard of BNI, it's
yeah,
a networking group, Business Networking International. And I joined straight away. And I thought, right, I need to build up a network, and that was a first step, and it was a really good step that I took to do that. And I'm still part of the same chapter now, which is phenomenal. So yeah, got a really good local network now, and that really helped.
yeah.
Yeah, day one, as I say, no clients, no prospects. Look out the window a bit and think, right, what
What do
do I
we
do
do now?
now?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know that one. I know that one already myself. But yeah, so um, in terms of the clients, then, so they started to trickle through. But were you given training on how to go through that process with It's Easy and provide all the marketing? Did they provide all the marketing materials? Yeah, how did It's Easy come into it and the
Yeah,
support
well,
around?
so yeah, no, good question. I mean, I knew I had the ability to sell anyway, so I went into it with a skill set. But when I went to It's Easy, obviously I needed to be trained on the website editing system, and just understanding how it all worked and how it would work going through the whole process. And as part of that, I think we had some cold call training, so we did a bit of that. I was I kind of used to that anyway, so it's not something I enjoy, but it's something I did do when I started. So picking up the phone, and I was going out networking as well. Those are kind of the two key things. Again, networking was new to me, but again, it's something It's Easy recommended, but it's something I thought, well, I knew anyway that I had to do because I just didn't have that local network. So yeah, networking and cold calling, and they gave us some training on cold calling. I think we've got a database as well that we could have used to make calls. But yeah, I did that. I even did a bit, you go and see someone and you go and knock on the doors either side and whatever offices or buildings that were there. I even did some walk-ins in those days. Um, so yeah, you do whatever you needed to do. I
Yeah,
remember one of my first clients was local hairdressers in the village, and I just went and knocked on the door and got a chatting to them. And actually, I was just
nice.
looking back before this podcast. Actually, my very, very first client, I still have. So that's quite proud
And
of
how
that.
many years are you into the business?
13.
13 years with one
Yeah,
client.
he's been with me for 13 years. Yeah, he was the first client I ever signed up.
Now,
So that was quite a proud moment when I did that. So I thought, oh yeah, I can do this. It came quickly.
and I don't mean to sound rude, but why have they stayed with you for 13 years? Like normally, things
Maybe, but
evolve,
no,
right?
cancel. Yeah.
They things happen. Not saying the service would particularly be bad, but it might be that they discover or get sold to by somebody else, and actually they think this might be a better way to do it, or we could bring it in house, or something like
Yeah.
that. So
Well, no, you're right. Well, I just think that people are happy with the service they've got. Then they'll stay with you. I haven't been to see him for quite a long time, but if I'm in the area, I'll just drop in, walk in, and can have a cup of tea maybe. And I think we're around his house to do the training and helping with some IT stuff, which isn't really my bag, but just being there to be helpful, really. And I think he offered me a brace of pheasant, actually, which was very nice of him, but I didn't know what to do with them, so I politely declined. But I suppose the point I'm making is you build up relationships. They know, then just pick up the phone, send an email. If there's any issues, you're there to help. And it's as simple as that. And that's probably the reason that there's that longevity there.
yeah.
So
From one client to now, how many clients do you roughly service on a regular basis?
Well, I mean, I've got a few hundred clients, so some take more time than others, and that's it. You kind of work through bringing the new ones on, and then looking at the ones which need the most support at a particular time, and that's obviously usually going through the process itself until it's live. Once they're live, they need a lot less support, but you're there to give that support if you need it. So, yeah, it just varies every week. Sometimes you'll get people wanting amends doing, and can you do this? Can you do that? And you're there to help them as and when they need it, and that could be months between there being anything that's actually required.
Yeah, so that's quite a lot of clients, a couple of hundred. So is it just yourself that's managing the account, all of those accounts? Do you have a team that work for or with you?
The team head office are great, and I have a VA that I work closely with, who's brilliant. So she can help with a lot of the admin and quite a lot of the client liaison as well. So, we manage it well between the team.
Yeah, nice, good stuff. So, in terms of the ongoing support then from It's Easy, so obviously you've got the team that do all the website designs and things like that, but for any business, there's ups and downs, right? There's probably going to be a rough patch that you've hit at some point where something went wrong. So what sort of level of support do you get from the rest of the kind of head office team, the franchise team, I guess, in those other business sort of factors?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I really speak to them, not every day, but most days. You're always liaising with the designer, so the constant support from the design team who are working on your websites, because I need to make sure that website is 100% for my client. So there's always ongoing liaison there. But then in terms of the kind of ongoing support, if I've got a query or I don't know something, or someone asks me something about email or DNS or things that aren't particularly my bag, there's a great support team there. I'll just pick up the phone or send an email. I cannot fault the support that I've had over the years, and I couldn't do it without the team at head office who were brilliant, whatever that query might be. So yeah, I mean, I've spoken. I can't remember what it was, but I've spoken today about a couple of things. So they're just there on the end of the phone, and it's a reassurance as well. And if something is there's something I don't know, or there's something I need help with, they are there to provide that, which is essential for me, but most importantly for my clients.
Yeah, nice. That's good. So, something that I think is an important question to ask when you're a prospective franchisee, when you're investigating different brands, and hence why I'm going to ask you this now, is kind of how does the brand evolve? Because I think if businesses stand still for too long, don't evolve their service offering, or don't evolve the support they provide, it gets stagnant. Other brands come in and overtake, right? So like any business, it always needs to move forward. So as a support team, do they do that, or do you do that in terms of developing the services that you offer to clients?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, what I do, well, when I started was selling websites. That's the keep it really simple. I went into the business to sell websites, as many as possible, and those websites and those products were provided by It's Easy, and that is the core of what It's Easy offers. Now, those websites and how they're built and the functionality and the features have constantly evolved. It's very different now to what it was when I started. The quality of the product has really moved on with the times and has pushed boundaries. So that side all comes from It's Easy, and now we're not just selling websites. We now are offering search engine optimization as well, which is great because that obviously goes hand in hand. So that has been developed by the guys at head office. There's a team there now. They've trialed it for a year plus, and now it's been rolled out. So that's new products that I can sell. SEO. Excuse all those emails coming in. So that's probably come from the feedback from the franchisees, because often we'd be asked about, do you offer SEO, or do you know anyone who does SEO? Because we weren't offering it, you might have to look elsewhere, or you go, I'm sorry, it's not something we do. But that feedback that comes from the franchise network feeds in directly to the franchise, and they listen and they take it on board and they care what we say. And, we're the people there at the front line speaking to the clients and potential clients. So I think that feedback that they've got has helped them develop the product and new products such as SEO. So there's a collaboration there. They're the guys who are doing it, developing it, but we're the guys who are selling it, and we're the guys that are giving feedback, and we're the guys who are giving suggestions and ideas of how we can move the franchise on. So it all works in a kind of circular fashion, really.
Yeah, it's an important symbiotic relationship, isn't it? Where, that if they're not running and operating on the ground, how do they know what the market dictates it needs to happen, or what needs to be evolved? So yeah, it's really important kind of relationship. I think they've also got to be able to listen to everybody, but work out what's best for the majority as well, don't they? So it's good.
They take feedback on board. We've got a really good kind of ideas forum as well, which I think is a great idea. And, we have quarterly updates, and there's a roadmap of things we're looking to develop and improve and offer. And, it all feeds in, as you say, it's a symbiotic relationship, which is really important when you're a franchisee. Can't fault them on that.
Nice. So what's the future for you then? What's the future for the franchise, for your franchise? So you've been with them 13 years, so I'm guessing you've renewed a couple of times. Is the next renewal happening? Is it going to be, that's it, I'm kicking back and going and sitting on a beach somewhere, or,
No, not there yet. No. No, I mean, I've got every intention of just keeping going. So as long as they'll have me, which I'm sure they will. I think I think we renew every sort of 5 years, so I've probably got another couple of years to go. But absolutely, it's about just keeping building it and keeping growing, and we've got the products to do that and the team to do that, and there's a massive market out there. So that's what I'm going to continue doing. I couldn't imagine doing anything else, if I'm honest. I've really enjoyed it, and it's given me what I want from a career. Sit at home, see the kids when they come back from school, listen to the music I want to listen to. It's great. And then I'm out and about when I need to be, or a lot of it's done online now over Zoom. When COVID hit and everyone started getting used to video calling software, that was a bit of a game changer, really, for how we work and meet people, have discovery meetings and do training and all the rest of it. So definitely the future is to continue in the same vein and continue to build up the my website clients, and also my SEO clients particularly now.
Good. Yeah. I love the comment about listen to the music that you want to. Like for me, that was always a thing that I wanted to do, is work with music on. But when you're in an office, you
Yeah.
can't. Instead, you have to listen to them moaning about whatever it is that they're moaning about, and try and
Yeah.
zone that out, don't you? So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the little things, isn't it? So, yeah, it makes a difference.
Working with smaller businesses, right? You get to see their businesses up close. You get to see the whites of the owner's eyes, the founder's eyes, listen to their passion and drive. It's not just somebody who's doing a job and trying to screw you down on the numbers. It's, you get to see the real people behind these businesses, don't you? And it's a really nice thing.
Yeah, you do, and I've got just a sort of vast array of mixture of clients, and being adaptable to be able to listen and talk to people is really important, and it's a skill that you can continue developing. So I enjoy that. I've enjoyed the kind of bigger corporate world, but I've also really enjoyed working with local businesses and helping them to grow and making a difference. And certainly BNI networking as well. That's all about keeping money within the community and helping build the business community as well. So that's just something that I enjoy now.
Good stuff. Excellent. So, what's been the proudest moment in your career?
But I guess with It's Easy, what I'm proud of is just showing that I could do it. You start off, as I say, no clients, no prospects, and then when the sales come in, you start thinking, oh yeah, do you know what? I can do this. I can build my own business. I can sell websites, and I can make a difference to the people that I'm working with. And I suppose I go back to what I said earlier. I'm proud that my very first client is still a client 13 years on.
Yeah.
That's great. You do lose. You get a big client base, you're going to get people that you lose because time passes, doesn't it? But it's nice to have that longevity, and there's lots of other clients who've been with me for a long time as well. So yeah, I'm proud that I built a business and continue to build it, and was able to do the other things around that I wanted to do. From a family point of view, and changing the lifestyle point of view. So yeah, I'm proud to be where I'm at the moment, and I hope that can continue.
Nice. Excellent. Well, same here. I hope you have lots more success to come. So,
Thanks.
My final question then is, if you were sitting opposite somebody who's about to invest in a franchise, whether it's Easy or any other franchise brand out there, and you're only allowed to give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
Well, I actually try and get all the information I can before making a decision, as much information as I can. And I think what I would say to people is that if you're thinking about an It's Easy franchise, pick up the phone and speak to the people who are doing it. So yeah, speak to people, get their feedback, know who you're going to be part of a team with, and get as much of that knowledge and information as you can on board to help you make a decision.
Yeah,
because it's a big decision. I think one of the motivations I make is that if you're technical and you're really into your websites and you build websites, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be good at selling those.
Yeah.
Myself, as I say, I'm not technical. I'm not, I've never built a website prior to coming into It's Easy, but I could sell, or certainly go out and talk to people and go networking and pick up the phone and try and sell. Okay, I'm not some sort of sales expert, don't get me wrong, but you've got to be able to want to go and talk to people and push yourself out of your comfort zone. You can't sit behind a computer, doing a bit of metadata and hoping you'll come up Google a bit more. You've got to talk to people. So if that's not you, it might not be for you.
Yeah.
You can't just do it all from sitting in front of a keyboard.
No, you got to make things happen, haven't you? For sure.
Yeah, you got to network. Yeah, you got to get out there and you got to talk to people.
Same for any business. At the end of the day, it's the same for any businesses, and it doesn't matter which one you go into. I think you have to have a bit of a business development element to you, don't you?
Yeah.
I think sometimes people get scared by the word sales, right? That you've got to really do
Yeah.
the hard sell and say you have to buy this and buy now or else, that kind of stuff. it's just more about having conversations, isn't it? Asking questions
Yeah,
and guiding people to make the right decision, I think, is how I view sales. But yeah,
that's it. Just making people comfortable that that you can help them and that you're going to be there to give them support they need. So I never see myself as a salesperson, but yeah, you've got to bring new people on board for It's Easy websites if you want to build your business. So call it sales or call it something else, but yeah, you're not out there. I mean, we've all come across really pushy salespeople, and you instantly go, no. So that's not the way to do it either. But you've got to be comfortable in speaking to people, whether it's a guy who's fixing a roof or whether it's a conveyancing solicitor. It doesn't there's such a wide range of people that you'll speak to. You've got to be able to adapt, and you've got to be able to empathise, and you've got to be able to communicate, and that's the key to it, really, whoever that might be.
Well, Gary, look, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for sharing a bit about your life and your journey with It's Easy. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. It's been a real pleasure.
It's all right. Thanks very much. Nice to talk to you.